All right, today we are going on a quest for what I think is the holy grail of web development, making your application feel absolutely, undeniably instant. We're going to break down the key strategies that separate the lightning-fast sites from the ones that, just leave you waiting.
You've definitely felt this, right? You click a link, one site loads in a blink, while another feels like it's crawling through molasses. So what's the secret? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack today. The core strategies the pros use to get that truly instant feel.
Okay, so first things first, we need to identify the villain in our story. And that villain is latency. Now, this isn't just about your internet speed. It's about pure physics. It's the sheer physical distance that data has to travel from some server somewhere in the world all the way to your user's browser. Every single request is fighting this battle.
So, how do we defeat latency? How do we fight back? Well, our first hero in this quest is the Content Delivery Network, or CDN. Let's see how this helps us conquer that physical distance.
The easiest way to think of a CDN is like a global network of super-fast photocopiers for your website's assets. Instead of every single user in the world having to fetch a file from your one server in, say, Virginia, the CDN makes a copy and puts it on a server right in their neighborhood. It's a really simple idea, but the impact is brilliant.
And what are we copying? Well, pretty much all of your static stuff. We're talking about your compiled JavaScript bundles from frameworks like React, Vue, or Angular, all your CSS, your images, fonts. Basically anything that doesn't change on every single user request is a perfect candidate for this global distribution.
Now check out the ripple effect here. Serving files from a nearby location, yeah, that reduces latency. But you also get way better throughput because these networks are highly optimized. You get caching right at the edge, and you take a massive load off your main server. Oh, and plus, you get modern protocols like HTTP3 pretty much for free. It's a huge win.
And the best part? This isn't some abstract theory you have to bolt on later. Modern frameworks are built for this from the ground up. If you take Next.js on Vercel, it's not an add-on, it's the default. Your static assets are automatically distributed and cached globally. The framework is already doing the heavy lifting for you. So, we've moved our files closer to the user. That's awesome. But what if we could move our logic closer too? This brings us to our next solution, edge delivery. This is all about bringing your actual code to the fringe of the network. This is the next evolution, for sure. Instead of just storing files, edge delivery lets you run actual code on those same global servers. So things like checking if a user is logged in or deciding which version of a page to show, that can happen just milliseconds away from the user. This means way fewer slow round trips back to your main origin server. And the kind of logic we can run here is incredibly powerful. You can do quick authentication checks, A/B testing, handle redirects. You can even do full server-side rendering right at the edge. So the user gets a fully personalized, dynamic page, but with the speed of a static file. It's kind of the best of both worlds. And again, the frameworks you're using today are leaning into this heavily. If you're in the Vue world, for example, Nux3's Nitro server is specifically designed to run at the edge. This makes your server-rendered Vue apps feel unbelievably fast because the rendering is happening just down the road from the user, not halfway across the world.
Okay, so we've shortened the distance the data has to travel. Now let's shrink the data itself. Our third and final hero today is compression, which is all about shrinking that payload.
So for years and years, gzip has been the standard. It's fast, it's everywhere, it works. But the modern champion is Brotli. Now the key takeaway here is the trade-off. Brotli takes a little bit longer to compress your files when you build your app, but that's a one-time thing. For the user, it's super fast to decompress, and the file sizes are just way smaller.
So let's just make this super clear. For your production builds, Brotli is the new standard. That small, one-time cost of compression during your deploy is paid back thousands, maybe millions of times over by your users downloading smaller, faster files.
And we're not talking about tiny savings here. Getting a bundle that's 15 to 25% smaller is a massive win, especially when you're dealing with large JavaScript frameworks. This directly translates to a faster time to interactive for your users, which is one of the most important performance metrics out there.
And this is just a brilliant example of how frameworks are designed for this exact strategy. The Angular CLI, for example, automatically adds a unique hash to every file name when you build. Why does it do that? Well, because if the file content ever changes, the hash changes, which means you get a brand new file name. This is like a signal to the CDN saying, hey, this specific file will never change. You can cache it aggressively for like a year.
It's a perfect synergy between your build tool and the delivery network.
Okay, so we've met our three heroes: CDNs, edge delivery, and compression. But they don't work in isolation. The real magic, the true instant experience, happens when you combine all three of them. This is what we call the performance trifecta.
So let's just trace a single request to see how it works. A user asks for your main JavaScript file. The CDN doesn't go all the way back to your server. No, it serves a broadly compressed version from the nearest edge server. That file is now cached for everyone else in that city, and the user's browser caches it locally for a year. Then, when you deploy a new version, the file's hash changes, you get a new file name, and the whole process repeats flawlessly. It's just beautiful.
So the crucial point is what this whole setup achieves. You get minimal latency because the server is close. You get a minimal payload size because of Brotli, and you get minimal load on your actual server. The result of these three things working together in concert? A user experience that truly actually feels instant.
And that's really the main takeaway here. For any modern high-performance web app, CDNs, edge delivery, and compression, they are not nice-to-haves. They are absolutely non-negotiable foundations for success.
So I'll leave you with this one thought to reflect on. Your application almost certainly has a global audience. The real question you should ask yourself is your performance strategy global too?